Hello, everybody. I am attorney Michael Eline, and I'm licensed in California and Texas. And as you know, I try to help First Amendment auditors and try to make sure they don't get arrested or get injured or hurt. And if they do, I try to help them, even though I'm only licensed in a few states. And I have BZ Watchdog with me. He's actually out in the field right now, cop watching, but he's friends with Texas Gal Audits, and I'm really upset right now, and I'm just going to let him take over and tell you what happened, and then we're going to show some clips and get into
We're
it.
talking about two different people here, Mike. Your Texas
Oh,
Gal
I'm sorry.
Audits has got a similar situation, but Carolina's is the pressing one today with the face plant, as I like to call it, from the cops is face
Got
plant
it.
to the ground this morning. I've in fact, Carolina and I talked yesterday. In fact, it's crazy that how something can change in less than 60 seconds. I saw that live stream early this morning when I got up, probably maybe within 2 hours after it happened. I've been blowing up phones, texting people, trying to make people aware of it. Trying to get the word out because I clearly saw that dude was straight unhinged. And we've seen that in not just one case, 2 case, 3 case, or 4 case. It seems to be almost every encounter a cop has with a camera in Texas. It escalates to somebody getting arrested, or in this case now, looks like it's gotten more serious to a face plant of someone who's under 5 foot, in her 50s, very, very light and fragile, for simply filming and asking an officer who she's had previous, I don't want to say rapport because it ain't good rapport, previous encounters with, that decided he was going to just be unhinged and snatch her up because he didn't want to be filmed. He didn't want to be on camera doing whatever they were doing, whatever she was exposing. And I'm trying to calm myself, guys. You can ask Mike. Mike, I'm really reserved right now. I wasn't this calm with Mike right before we started the live stream. I was kind of really pissed off, and I try to hold back my eyes are actually watering, guys. That's how angry I am right now. I may not agree with certain tactics. I may not agree with certain cop watchers all the time with what they do or how they do it. But when they're wronged, I get angry about it. It's just like chili. Get something happens where the cops overstep, they break the law themselves, they do what they do, they hurt one of us, and then nothing happens. I'm kind of glad CJ's involved. I'm glad Michael's covering this. I'm glad Delete Laws is covering this. I am out here in the field. I thought I was going to have a cop watch show up on this accident that just occurred, but they just clearly exchanged information and went about their way because they didn't want to deal with the cops. That's how bad things have gotten in Texas, guys. And this isn't the only state. I'm just, I know I might be rambling a little bit at this point. It's just because I'm very angry. And anybody else that's seen that video this morning or watched CJ's message and kind of went into detail a little bit about it, if you're not angry, then you're not a good person. And that's where I'm going to kind of stop, bite my tongue for a second, get off my soapbox, let Mike continue. And
well, you've got a right to be upset. And yeah, that's right. It's Carolina, Fort Worth. I confuse Texas Gal and Fort Worth because it's all Texas. But the bottom line is she got body slammed, and based upon the way it sounded from the footage that we were lucky to get, it sounds pretty serious. And
it was a face plant, bro.
Face plant. And so, as a personal injury attorney, I do brain injury cases. That is actually what I specialize in. Those are the types of cases that I specialize in, typically with motorcycle accidents, because I do those types of cases, and I have a lot of experience in exactly these types of cases. And they are very, very serious. Even if it's considered a mild traumatic brain injury, it's a real problem. Because mild doesn't mean anything. It just talks about the severity of the brain injury. So really quick, what I want to do is I want to show you the last part of her audit so you can get an idea of what went down.
And before you do, go ahead.
You're arrested.
What are you talking about? Why? Wait, tell me why first.
Remember restaurant.
No. You're okay.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Okay, you hear that? She's snoring right now. So, BZ, I want you to narrate for me because you know more about this case than I do.
I don't think that's a snoring. I think that's more of a gurgling sound.
Well, like a gurgling sound. Okay, like a brain injury.
At this point, Mike, it happened so quick. Bottom line, from what I could gather,
What'd you say? Go ahead.
she got snatched up, slammed to the ground real quick. I mean, that's why you see her camera go down and you hear that big thud, and then you hear her phone slam on the ground. It's because he face planted her, and when he said stop resisting, you know, obviously they've been trained to do that.
Yeah.
Every time they put hands on somebody.
That's right.
That's why she always tells you to narrate. You know, you're not resisting. You're not resisting,
right.
because they're always going to say that.
That's right. When I got beat, that's right. When I got beat up by a West Covina cop in front of witnesses, I kept on saying, "I'm not resisting. I'm in compliance. I'm not resisting. I'm in compliance." And ultimately, he stopped hitting me because everybody was standing around, almost like shaming him. So, but they are trained to do that in the academy. Even if they've got you handcuffed, if they're punching you in the face, they'll say, "Stop resisting. Stop resisting." It's just part of their training. So,
and so when he did that, you can hear one of the female cops say she's bleeding as he's putting the cuffs on her, and then at that point you kind of hear breathing going to like a gurgling, like her, like kind of like what CJ was saying about how the brain was trying to get oxygen.
That's right.
You got to understand, she's on her stomach, face down, bleeding from the head, hands behind her back for God knows how long before they get on the radio. And I noticed on the radio when I turned up the volume, I actually heard him call for a supervisor on scene before he called for medical. So he was already trying to cover his ass.
That's right. He's already trying to cover his butt, and that's just typical. What a scumbag piece of garbage cop. Give me a bunch of ones if you think that we should all be petitioning this police department to have this guy thrown off the force or immediately placed on administrative suspension at a minimum.
And
now,
I don't know if you guys have noticed how angry I am that Brownie came over here to I'm driving and he's virtually in my lap trying to calm me down right now.
That's awesome.
So
man.
I don't know if you guys can see him on the screen, but
Brownie looks bigger. You've been running him more or something?
He's about 55 pounds. He's just real stout. He's got pit bull, kelpie, husky, and chocolate lab in him. So he's trying to calm me down right now. I'm trying to laugh because I'm trying not to go the hell off the rails right now.
Well, real quick, I want to thank Scrubzilla and Hughes family, and especially you, Chevy, as always, for showing up. And all you guys have been supporting our other friend, Chili, who's been locked up unjustly. And now we have Carolina Fort Worth getting body slammed and more than likely suffering a brain injury, knocked out cold by this scumbag cop who doesn't get along with her. And we know that already. And this looks like a revenge body slam.
Officer Matthew Krueger.
Officer Matthew Krueger.
Now, as we call him, nicknamed Freddy Krueger, because obviously he's a nightmare, and we see that now because, you know, he face planted Carolina, and God only knows how traumatic this is for her, if she's even conscious at this point. We don't know. All we know is that she's currently in the trauma unit under police custody. At this point, we don't have much more to go on. So,
well, Stomper has been a member for 6 months, I guess, and Stomper's saying free chili. So everybody, yeah, definitely, we're all about getting free and chili. But now we've got a friend of ours who's part of the government accountability operations that very few people have the nerve or the guts to go out and engage in. And holding the government accountable is one of the highest callings of any American citizen. If you look at the Bill of Rights, you can see that it was structured, and the Constitution as well, to bind politicians with the chains of the Constitution. And we've seen a slow devolution of the republic, trying to make it into this majority rules, mob rules democracy. And we see as that happens, more and more of these things are happening, where the administrative state, the great Leviathan, has become the master, and we, the people, have become the servants. We see that Carolina is out there just filming because apparently there are some cars being towed in a private parking lot with the help of the police.
Well,
And
apparently,
apparently,
it's a public paid parking lot. So
Okay.
what they did was they waited till everybody cleared that party area. And if you guys want, what I can do is I'm actually not far from that area. If you guys would give me about maybe 5 to 10 minutes, I can show you the location
oh, that would be awesome, dude.
and maybe even go look at the scene
Yeah.
where this happened at.
All right.
But it's a public paid parking lot area. And what they do is they wait till everybody's done partying, leave their cars so they can Uber home, and wait till these meters expire, and then they have these predator is what Carolina was fighting. These predator tow truck companies that just come up and just start snatching cars up.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing her video so you guys can sort of see what happened, her colloquy with the police. You'll be able to see the female officers. I can only imagine if I was those female cops, I would immediately leave the force. You can see that they have this misogynistic scumbag cop body slamming a woman. Unacceptable. You don't put your hands on a woman, number one, if you're a man. There were female officers there who could have done that. This guy clearly has bloodlust. He should not be on the force. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Amen. Hallelujah.
And Mike, I think those females were actually concerned because before he got the cuffs on, one of them mentioned she was bleeding. So
no, I think they were because women naturally have a matronly gene in them because they give birth to children and they naturally care about people. Whereas men are totally different, driven by testosterone and have a completely different makeup. And you can see that in the way that this male officer responded. Totally unacceptable. So as you can see, she's just out here filming, and then BZ's going to go over to the spot where she got clobbered. BZ, do you think I should
here and they're all coming?
just let me know if you want me to speed it up?
And we're back. And we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what I did.
Just let me know whenever you need me to.
Yeah, no, keep playing because I'm about 5 minutes out from the
It's
location.
so,
Roger that.
it's got a brand new program to it. But now everybody, all these cops are coming up here. They must think they saw me. I know. They probably think my was with me and he's not. That's why they came over here. That's the tow truck. That's their discussion over here. They're having a discussion over here.
So you can see she has a different auditing style.
Okay, we're going to tell this. We're going to tell that. Let's see. What are we going to do?
So she's standing about
She's a little
15,
bit
20
more
feet away.
She's
What the,
a little bit more outspoken. She criticizes the cops.
heckles them. She heckles them a little, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to call it harassing or heckling them, but
Okay.
she's definitely criticizing when she thinks that she's seeing something that's just morally or ethically wrong.
All right.
She's speaking her mind about it.
Where'd you? That's a cop car that's broken. That's hilarious. It is. Predator ones. Predator tow truck drivers. They're the worst. Do we have a black officer? That's amazing. Yay. No, it's not. It's a white guy. No, he's Mexican. What's going on? Don't say something. I dare you. Fire.
That's a lot of
We're about to
cops.
throw this car off.
That area is covered with cops, Mike, because it was Saturday night in that party area.
Okay, I get it, but I'm just thinking.
We had a TCU student at the beginning of the year unalive down there, and they didn't have enough police presence. And the mayor knew the TCU, I think he was a sophomore, because he coached her son's Little League team. So because of the isolated incident, She ordered the police to put more police down in that area,
Oh,
just to kind of keep more law and order. This is the same area that Manuel Mata got arrested for a while back for jaywalking because they knew who he was. When there
Yeah.
were about 40 other people jaywalking right next to him, but because he was filming, they snatched him up out of the crowd.
right. I'm just thinking about the immense resources. I mean, even if they tow every car, the only
You gotta
person
understand
making money is the tow truck driver in this
Well,
case.
Mata, you got to understand, Mata and Carolina usually go out together a lot. So when there's one, there's usually the other. They've had a run-in with Dummy Krueger or Freddy Krueger or whoever you want to call this guy before. I mean, she even said his name before he was even fully out of the police car because he was already addressing her. So it's a common practice that this was definitely a retaliatory. This wasn't even obstruction. He didn't even say obstructing. It was just basically he was unhinged. He was pissed off. He was retaliating for whatever reason, and face planted her. And I'm sorry that I'm rambling. I'm just so
No,
pissed
it's
off.
okay. I just think of the immense resources that the city or county it must be spending to tow cars away, and the only person probably making any money is the tow truck driver. And we know from past cases there have been allegations in many other states where these tow truck drivers get kickbacks, and it's all like a big scam. It's almost like the cartel system in Mexico
The cops
has been
get kickbacks.
transplanted into
The cops get kickbacks for letting these predators.
right.
just
It's
stick to the
almost
car.
like the cartel system in Mexico has become how it is now in America. So let's go ahead and keep watching this.
They throwing a bunch of cars off. Like that shows really like they're trying to build an entertainment district up, right? This is a great way to do it. This is great for community relations. Isn't this a great idea for community relations to start towing people's cars? I think that's a wonderful idea.
So she doesn't seem like she's getting
Yeah,
right next to
driver.
him.
No, she wasn't
Never
really
seen it
getting
like I'm
bothered
crazy.
with until that guy stepped out of his car.
Yeah.
And that was I think it's like right after the 6-minute mark.
It's really late for people, huh?
Yeah. Iron Horse says cash kickback from tow company, criminal. Right. Absolutely.
Hey, do me a favor. Pause that real quick for me in a
Yeah, no
second.
problem.
Because I'm down here. I'm just trying to find the exact spot.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 sections where it could be at that I'm trying to find.
Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button. Everybody make sure to smash the like and subscribe button and make sure to check out BZ Watchdog's channel as well.
I
And,
think I
BZ's
found
gonna
the
try-
spot.
BZ's taking us live to the station, to the place where this happened. So I'm going to go ahead and put him, going to give
I'm
him
actually
control of the
turning-
screen here.
I'm actually see how I can turn this around real quick. I'm trying to turn there we go. Turn my camera around.
So to the scene of the crime. Here you guys go.
We are at the scene of
Team
trying to
DLZ
zoom in here.
live at the scene. Team DLZ live at the scene. Good job, BZ. Good work.
So,
All
Bill,
800 people in here. All 800 people are cheering for you, bro.
I can't see the chat, so if anybody's screaming, jumping up and down that I'm doing this, I appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what people are saying. All right.
Yeah, read off the comments for me.
Yeah. Well, first of all, our guy 96 says not Texas Gal Audits, Carolina and Fort Worth. Yes, I get it, man. It was a mistake. And
Hey, they've
Stacy.
now they have gone out auditing together, so it's easy to
Yeah,
get those.
I just mixed it
two
up because
mixed
I
up.
know that. Yeah, just to mix up. So then hit the like button, Mikey B says. And then let me see here. Where is Chavez? Said Jarrett Fort. I don't know who that is. Hey, Gloria Ad, good seeing you.
Okay, so just to let you guys know, it was definitely on this stretch right here.
Okay.
This stretch of driveway right here. I'm just trying to match up the picture where it was at or looking for anything on the ground that, because I thought I saw the spot. She was definitely down in this area somewhere over here. Because
Hughes family says thanks for going the extra mile, BZ. Just letting you know.
appreciate it. Hey, Mike, look at the picture and compare those pictures. compare those screens where she was walking up on those female cops.
Well,
And
I'm
see
trying.
how-
I'm trying
Go
to,
back,
brother.
go
Hold
back
on.
to the 6 minute and about 20-second mark.
All right, hold on one
You
second.
can
dude.
see
I
everybody.
gotta find it.
6:15, 6:20.
Okay, hold on. Do you want me to put it up for you?
Yeah, put it up on the screen so I can see it.
All right, hold on. Let me get there. Around 6:15.
Yeah, when she's walking behind the female
All right.
cops.
Yeah, I feel like I'm Alfred from Batman right now.
Batman.
I feel like Batman. I feel like Alfred from Batman.
Hey, ladies. Hey, ladies. Hey, ladies. Hey, Krueger.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to before. There's
Stop
no,
it right
there's,
there.
there's no nothing.
You can go.
What's that business? What's that business across the street?
It says Coe Wetzel's Root Room. It looks like Riot Room. The Riot Room.
Yeah. I see it right in front of me. I'm right there.
All right, I'm going to put you up.
Is that a 30-minute parking spot?
It looks like it. I got you right here on the screen. I'm sharing the big screen right now. Do you want to get out? Why don't you get out and walk? Get out and walk around. Pretend like you're Dan Rather.
Look
You
at the
Dan
building.
Rather.
Look at the building right there across the street, guys.
There it is. Here, hold on. Let me share. See it? There it is.
She's looking at the barn. I'm looking for that angle. You know what? It's a little further down. Hang on a second. Oh, no, that's the spot because they have that third door closed. So right where I was at, it's happened right here. I was just trying to find a spot to park. I'm going to have to illegally park for a second. I'm not going to be here very long because I've got Brownie with me and everything else. Brownie, I got to leave you here, Bubba. I got to turn on the dog mode. Hang on.
So I just want people to know something. This is more than 99% of lawyers would do, even if their client suffered a brain injury. I mean, BZ is literally going out and doing an accident scene investigation right after the accident. This footage could actually be used as evidence in a case potentially. If he had been there and he was narrating what happened. So it's just really cool to see that you guys are real activists. So when people make fun of auditors and people trying to hold the government accountable, I always find that disconcerting. I just put BZ on mute for a second until he gets squared away. But I really appreciate all 1,700 people joining us today for Team DLZ to hold the government accountable. Let me go ahead and put him back on. Can you hear me, BZ?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put you back on the screen,
put on the
all
screen
right?
because all I see is you.
Yep,
Okay.
here you go. I'm going to go ahead and let you take over.
Now, I have some music here, so I'm going to try to keep muting so we don't pick up copyright strike. But this is the angle right about here where she was.
Yeah, People Actual Liberty wants you to know that People Actual Liberty says, BZ, that bloodlust is the term that he would use to describe the officer. And I think I said that earlier. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Now, I see Wexel right there. See some stuff on the... Oh, you know what? I see right where it's at. I see it right here.
Is that the blood where she got injured?
Yep.
Holy shit. Dude, take photographs of that too with a high definition camera. That's evidence.
Because that's going to be where your picture angle is at, right there.
Holy shit. Look at that, guys. Go back and show us that. Is there a trail of blood from when they put her in the ambulance?
It looks like they were stepping all through it because I see drops going other places.
Yeah, assholes. Unbelievable. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys think that this is disgusting and this shouldn't be happening in our country.
Because I'm looking at stuff. Nothing else looks like blood over here except for this one area. And that's definitely blood.
That's attempted murder, by the way, as far as I'm concerned.
That's where you can tell where her head initially struck.
That's a fractured skull. That is an enormous amount of blood. There's probably a lot more blood on her clothing and on the stretcher from when they took her off.
Well, I'm going to mute the mic. I'm going to get out of the, I'm not getting out of the live stream. I'm just going to switch out the app real quick so I can take pictures.
I'm gonna start streaming again her stream so people can see what happened.
Okay.
Go to the other side of the street, you're going to get arrested. I'm not warning you
What are
again.
you talking about?
Go to the other side of the street right
Why?
now.
Wait, tell me why first.
You're under arrest. Turn off.
No, I'm not under it. Okay, you go.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
She's bleeding.
So there you go. Krueger is a psychopath. And so now I have her attorney. I want to go ahead and just let you guys listen to what her attorney has to say.
Tuning in, and I'm just going to jump right into this. Give you what I do know. I will tell you just up front, for those of you just looking for the bare facts. The bare facts are that Carolina is alive. Okay. To the best of my knowledge, I don't have any specific information, but based on all my conversations.
By the way, Yumi Main says that's agnal breathing, and I would say that that is probably an accurate statement. This is look, on my show today on Michael Eline, I'm going to do something about traumatic brain injuries and the likely scenario about what happened to her. That's what I specialize in, is brain injury cases. So everything that you're saying sounds right on the money there, Yumi Main. And then another person says, we the people actual liberty says bloody Krueger. And then AM says, this has me so pissed. Well, that's everybody in this chat is really angry. I mean, that cop is disgusting. And this is why we have police audits and cop watchers, to hold the government accountable. Let's listen to what her attorney has to say.
With everybody that I've been speaking with, she is alive. And if she were not, I would have been able to find her in the coroner's database, and she's not there. So that's the good news. Here's what I know. I've been on the phone most of the morning trying to find out what's been going on with Carolina, and specifically her health, because that's what I really care about. I'm not worried about the charges. We'll deal with those later. What I'm worried about, and I'm sure what you're worried about, is what's going on with Carolina's health. How is she feeling, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what I'm going to hope to try and give you. I'm not going to be able to get into, if I have any, specifics about her cases or anything, because I haven't been able to speak with her. Now, I know that she's given me wide latitude before, and I know that our general agreement has been that I can talk about whatever I want. But since we have essentially what's likely going to be a new case, I don't want to go into anything that might be attorney-client protected. So just for a wrap up, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, because maybe you follow my channel, but you don't follow a lot of the First Amendment auditors.
And really quick, guys, because we had like almost 1,600 people in here a few minutes ago, and now we're down to about 1,000. So I'm going to tell you guys, everybody, really quick. You guys know anybody in the news media anywhere in Fort Worth, please have them contact me or BZ. Please have them contact me or BZ. This is a front page news story, and it's on tape. Please, anybody who knows somebody in the lamestream for-profit media, if there was ever a time where we actually needed some press, this is the time. Please, I'm begging you, this stuff needs to be reported on. We can no longer remain silent about these things, people.
Last night, Carolina in Fort Worth, you can go to her YouTube channel here. Just type in Carolina in Fort Worth. Watch her last live. She's actually got 2 of them. So if you want to see kind of what led up to the 7-minute video that led to what we're doing today, you can watch that. But essentially what happened was Carolina was filming what looks like just officers in the entertainment district on 7th Street in Fort Worth were towing vehicles. And Carolina saw all the police officers there, went to go film, which is her right. It's important to note that based on the video, none of the officers had any of their lights or sirens going. They were just kind of milling around. There was no scene. There were no suspects being interviewed. It was essentially, it looked like just a revenue raising operation to get vehicles towed.
Revenue
That's
raising.
what it looks like. Obviously, I don't have any specific information there. And so Carolina was filming that. And at one point, she's trying to get some information from some of the female officers who are obviously not engaged in an investigation. And as she's doing that, the thug Fort Worth police officer, Officer Krueger, decided that he was going to do what he does best, which is assault in an aggravated manner, Miss Carolina. And as she went.
And real quick, hey, I just want to thank everybody in the sidebar before we go on. The people who are joining us a little late, a good friend of BZ's and an acquaintance, not exactly like a great friend, but Carolina Fort Worth got body slammed. And it looks like she got a brain injury. And I wanted to thank Test All Spirits, Jeff H., Iron Horse, Scooter Mafia, Anthony Posano. Anthony Posano says that the cop that slammed her is Freddy Krueger. And I'm going to go ahead and take BZ off mute. BZ, do you have anything to say to the sidebar? There's a lot of people that have stuff to say to you.
It's more severe than a body slam. It was a freaking face plant. That cop picked her up off the ground 3 feet and face planted her into that concrete. I just saw the remains of that dried blood. That was a 3-foot face plant into the ground.
So that's a fractured skull. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean,
No,
probably her nose got broken.
Why else is she in trauma? I mean, they literally, right after she was slammed, even one of the female cops said there's blood, which means it happened that quick, which means it was a serious injury.
Right. And so that sound that you guys hear, I know this from, being a fighter and having knocked out and been knocked out.
Pigs going by right now, goddamn pigs.
That noise that she was making was her brain struggling to breathe and get oxygen. And typically when you suffer a brain injury like that, one of the reasons your brain will get injured is because you're short-circuiting your nervous system and your body is having a hard time understanding how the signaling as far as breathing. And so a lot of times you'll cut off oxygen supply to the brain, and that is one of the reasons your brain gets damaged. It's not always just because of the blow to the head. So I just want you guys to understand that. This officer is totally out of control. I mean, that was just unbelievable to put his hands on a frail woman like that. You don't do that. You don't body slam a woman who's got cameras in her hand. What are these guys thinking, BZ?
They're not. I mean, they're just dumbass rednecks in Texas. I mean, anybody that's seen any of my videos recently of me encountering with the cops, I can ask them a simple question. They can't seem to answer a simple question. They lack the education to be law enforcement, let alone peacekeepers, because there was no de-escalation. Wherever that training was that guy got, I want a refund, because that guy had no de-escalation training whatsoever.
You have rights calls that cop coward thugs. And look, those female officers, as much as you could tell they cared about what happened.
I think they were concerned.
I think they were concerned, and I expect them to leave the force after what happened. I don't think any woman in her right mind, especially if they've had children, could ever work in a system like that.
I hate to say this. Because they sat there and allowed it to happen and didn't intervene when Krueger was getting confrontational, they're going to be named in that lawsuit too.
That's right. They'll be named. And I'm hoping, though, at least that force will be short, a couple of them. If anything, they should have the females as the sergeants, at least those women that were there, because at least they showed empathy and caring, whereas this guy was just a complete animal. I'm going to go ahead and play more of what her attorney has to say, okay?
Went down, you can hear in the background, first of all, you can hear her when she hits the ground. And now, Carolina, if you haven't met her, she's a very frail, kind of small person. And she's also
that's right, Watkins.
Person. I don't mean like 80 or anything like that, but she's not young and spry. Let's just put it that way. And you hear one of the other officers saying she's bleeding. Now, I had somebody go to the scene this morning and to the hospital. So here's what I'll tell you. She is in the hospital. Okay. I have been able to confirm that she is in the hospital, but the reason that nobody can find her is because she's in police.
And Scrubzilla says, for the right price, people will do anything. And that's what's sad. And now they're making illegal aliens police officers. They have no loyalty to our country at all. Imagine how that's going to go over.
Custody, and they generally do not put her on the rolls for people to find when you're in police custody. That's the good news. The good news is that she's in police custody, not a coroner's custody. And that's how I know that I can say that she's alive.
And Angie B in the sidebar says that she has a brain injury. She has a brain injury from a car wreck back in 2000, and it still affects her to this day. Hey, look, and I still have problems also from getting knocked out and stuff. And it just, your brain, your body is like a computer, and when you drop it, it can mess things up. You know, your fan can get maladjusted, a circuit can get whacked out of place. It never works the same. That's just the problem. And there was no reason for what happened to her. We saw her video. Right, BZ? I mean, there was just no reason for him to even put hands on her, dude.
And she didn't even have time. It almost reminds me of the way the cops are with smaller. They always seem to go for the smaller, weaker.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say weaker sex, because that's not where I'm going with that. But they always the appearance of the smallest, weakest target.
That's right.
In the crowd. I don't know if it's because it's an intimidation factor. Because we saw this, if you go back to Texas Gal Audits video with her Duncanville arrest back in, I think on February 29th, she's a couple inches taller than Carolina. She's almost as old as Carolina. She's a little, full of piss and vinegar. The little ones always are. And the thing is with her, I mean, she was literally videotaping in the post office, do a transaction. No one ever asked her to leave, nothing. And this overgrown giant of a cop, bumpkin, about 6'6", according to her description of him, because she's so short, basically just said, "You want a gun?" And just snatched her up. I mean, it happened like almost just, Carolina's happened about 10 to 30 seconds quicker, but Texas Gal didn't get face planted either. She did get, as she called it, manhandled. And it seems to be a common practice among the male cops. I really think these cops beat their wives, like Chili says with the Mullen Commission report. You know, these guys are literally probably beating their wives and girlfriends, beating their kids, beating their dogs, real sadistic. Because they're on the street and not having any kind of reserve, knowing that they are on film, that they are in uniform, wearing a badge, and carrying a gun. I would think you'd think about that more than somebody at home. So if they did that out here, imagine what they're doing at home to their loved ones, supposed loved ones.
Well, we know about that public records case in Nevada, that the commission that was established to make it more transparent basically was rubber stamping all of the internal affairs investigations. And the last one that they tried to keep secret, they claimed that there was an active investigation, because that's what they always do. And we were finally able to get the records, and it showed that this officer, through internal affairs, they knew about it, was trying to have his wife executed by a hitman because he was in the middle of a divorce. And we know that police officers in general have much, much higher instances of abuse towards their spouses. And they're trained to be able to lie and be abusive. And it's really sad because, I grew up on 1 Adam 12 and police stuff like Chips, right? And so I always wanted to be a cop, and I ended up being a Marine. But I even tried out for the sheriff's department, but my knee injury from the Marine Corps prevented it from going forward. But I'm glad I didn't do it, because ultimately people will do anything for money. And once you're on the department and you're almost towards the end of your pension period, getting your 20 in, you're going to lose your pension, or you're going to just walk away when you see a woman get her head slammed. And so that's why I do civil rights and personal injury and started out doing appeals and criminal defense stuff, and got my base in that. And that's why I'm here today, guys, because I want to share this information with you. We need to hold the government accountable. Government accountability operations are extremely important. So what I want to do now is go ahead and let her lawyer finish telling you what his observations are about what took place. It looks like we lost BZ for a minute, but we're going to go ahead and let her lawyer talk.
But I can also say that I believe it's serious because a lot of you may remember what happened to me in 2018 when I got tased and I got my head cracked on the concrete. I went to the hospital. They had to do stitches. I was there for maybe 2 hours or so to get the stitches. Once I got the stitches in, they immediately took me to the jail. So obviously the fact that I had blood on the ground and I had blood on my clothing, and I was bleeding all over the police car, they took me to jail right away. So the fact that I was bleeding, it obviously they didn't think it was that serious, so they took me to jail. So here I am in the disgusting Bexar County jail with this open wound in my head that's just been kind of sewn shut. And the fact that she is still in the hospital leads me to believe this is much more serious.
Extremely serious. I would say she's got a serious mild traumatic or traumatic brain injury, and she may even be on a breathing machine based upon the sound of her trying to breathe. And I'm very, very worried about her. And when BZ called me this morning, I was at the gym and I didn't realize how serious it was. And I'd already planned all these different shows on the channel today. And once I saw it, I got physically sick, and I called him and apologized. And of course, he chewed me out for a while. But ultimately, here we are doing the video, and this is his lawyer.
As a combat lifesaver in the military and someone who has dealt with head wounds and who has literally, let's just say dealt with head wounds. I'm not going to get specific in combat. I'm a little concerned because not only did the officers remark about the blood on the scene or the blood coming from her head, if you listen, you hear what sounds like a snoring, but it's not a normal breathing snoring. It's what I would consider a brain injury type of gasping for air. And it's the brain trying to essentially stay alive and keep all the functions moving after a very traumatic event to the brain.
Yeah, and I join in his statement as a brain injury attorney, as a brain injury lawyer. I join in everything that he's saying. So really interesting. This lawyer also is a combat vet. Very impressed with him. I believe he's got a Bronze Star with a V device, so that means it's a legit Bronze Star, not a ceremonial one like the judge has in that other case where the young thug case, right, where he just went ahead and locked up a lawyer because he wanted to engage in his rights to keep his client information privileged and protected. That one. So we're going to go ahead and keep playing this, BZ. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, man. I'm just keep rolling that bean footage.
That's what bothers me about that, because I've only ever heard what I heard on that video in a combat situation where a soldier, or even an Iraqi in this case, with my experience, was shot in the head. And so she was obviously knocked out, most likely unconscious. And I don't know what the extent of the brain injury is, but at the very least, she's going to have a TBI. What happened to me in Olmos Park, it's kind of ironic, or at least coincidental in a way, that I'm dealing with this weekend. I've been dealing with vertigo and migraines, and today a migraine that still I deal with from the Olmos Park thing in 2018, and also from the explosions in Iraq. So I understand traumatic brain injuries, and I understand mild traumatic brain injuries, which is what I've got. It's an MTBI.
Yeah.
That's what concerns me. So I want you to know that she is not at the jail. I have been able to confirm that. She's not at the county or the Fort Worth PD jail. I do know that there's a lot of panic going on,
Mike,
within
speaking
the
of
police department, because
speaking
the
of
people
which,
that have.
I want everybody to know what I'm looking at right now is that building to our left that houses all the here. Let me do this. Houses all the inmates right there. That
Oh, no kidding.
brown building. I'm actually passing the county jail right now as we speak downtown. So just so that everybody knows, I am in the area of Fort Worth is huge, but where these things happen are always usually near the center of town. This is where they send all the the abusive and bad cops. So just so you guys know, I am in the area. So if somebody reaches out to me and lets me know I need to go take care of something, I'm only 2 miles from downtown. I can be anywhere within 5 or 10 minutes.
So real quick, Flip Flat asks BZ, did Caroline in Fort Worth get hurt, or am I mistaken? You want to fill in Flip Flat really quick? Looks like Flip Flat just joined
here,
us.
let me give you about a 10-second summed up. Unhinged cop for filming, asking questions, escalated, face planted Carolina, handcuffed her, told her she'd stop resisting while she was knocked unconscious and bleeding from her head. And one of the female cops said she's bleeding, and the first thing the cop did was call a supervisor as he's putting the cuffs on her. So no remorse, unhinged, and yeah, she's in a trauma care unit under police custody for being arrested without a warrant and no other primary charge to result in the arrest. So that, as a lawyer, wouldn't that pretty much sum up what you observed?
I'd say it sounds like attempted murder, like Watkins Inc. is saying in the chat. I'd say it sounds a lot like attempted murder.
By the way, she's and they take it seriously in Texas. She is. I don't want to indulge her exact age. I know she's in that 50s bracket. I'm just not going to go into exactly, but that could be also elder abuse.
Maybe we'd have to look at the statute.
They take serious punishment. Take that serious here in Texas.
That officer should have never been let on the force. This was a complete revenge, terroristic attack on an innocent woman who was simply trying to engage in a First Amendment protected activity. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys saw the video. If not, you can go back and rewind it from the beginning. We do show it at about the 5 or 6 minute mark, BZ, the Carolina.
See, on the 7 minute mark, if you go back to the 6 minute mark, you'll see where she starts to approach the female officers. So you have like a little bit of context about 15 seconds before it goes down. But they call it aggravated assault here in Texas. So
okay, I just put the link to her video in the sidebar. So if anybody wants to click on it, you can look in about the 6 minute mark. That's what BZ is saying. Okay. So you want to look at it. There it is. And I'll put it in the description of this video as well. Anything else you want to share with the sidebar, BZ? Otherwise, I'll start responding to their questions. There's a lot of questions in the sidebar for us.
I can't see the sidebar because I'm on my phone driving.
No problem. Well, anybody who's got questions, I'm going to relay them to you. Flip Flat says, I'm sick of hearing this information. I like Flip Flat. Give me a bunch of ones for Flip Flat, guys.
Is he tired of hearing the information about the cops, or is he tired of hearing about auditors getting hurt, or does he just not care about auditors? Or
I think he's saying he's sick and tired of people getting abused by public servants. I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying.
They ought to just get rid of the protect the cops and let us. They're going to manhandle us. They should just allow us to manhandle them right back and let the courts decide, because that's what they do to us all the time. They put us in cuffs, rough us up, and then tell us, well, that's for the courts to decide. I think we should be able to protect ourselves.
Voltaire's Ghost None says every aspect of our lives in the USA is corrupt. And I think more and more there's a large segment of the population, especially after this last election, that thinks everything is corrupt. And then the mRNA and all that other stuff that went down. And now we're finding out that all the evidence that all the people who were conspiracy theorists are now proven to be true. So
let's not
go ahead,
get off
BZ.
topic. You're getting into conspiracies. How about we go ahead and call for
Not really, but anyway. So Mingo Will Rockstar says, I'm in Pennsylvania too. And he says, what's the name of your video? Looking on the channel in your playlist, but seeing old videos. So Will J Rockstar, if you look in the sidebar, I just put the video, and it's to Carolina Fort Worth's video. And it's at about the 6 minute mark where you see her being confronted with this psychopathic police officer. Is that about right? You'd say, BZ?
Yeah, they can also go to CFW Carolina is Here's page. It's her very last live that she had up. She was live streaming this when it happened. So there is no way for them to go in there and delete it. It's on the record. It's now gaining traction everywhere. They're not going to be able to hide this. I can't read whatever that says, bro.
It doesn't matter. I'm just looking. Can you get? Oh, here's one. The Matthew 4:27 says, Can you give a shout out to my cousin Mike Unhurts?" I don't know what that means, but sure, shout out, dude.
No, he's trying to be. That's code. You know, like how you use the word Mike for other things. He's trying to get you to say something dirty online.
Oh, got it. Okay. So,
Don't fall into that troll spam.
well, where's Let's OTVO? He's supposed to be here nuking people in the sidebar. What is
What
your
about-
major malfunction?
What about all the delete laws as mods? I know we got. Where's Chevy at?
Yeah,
Chevy,
where's
like,
the mods at? Dude, get rid of all these pinko commies who are here to cause trouble. We don't need them.
These are
Now-
probably cops in here trying to defend their Fort Worth Krueger.
Well, Colin Griga says, I know several cops and they're the most empty people. I've known 5 personally and 3 legitimately scare me.
Hey,
Well,
Mike, just to let you know, I am driving Uber. This is going to be my last ride of the day. So what I'm going to do is, since we're on the live stream,
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, and I'm going to put
problem.
my BZ Watchdog logo up to hide the passenger's identity.
no problem.
All right, just letting you know what I'm doing.
Now, One Stop Fab Shop says they're psychopaths. And I hear that a lot from people. And the ones that I've had the unfortunate happenstance to interact with, that's how it's been with me, just complete psychopaths. But hey, you never know. There may be, I know there are sheriffs out there in small towns who really believe in upholding the Constitution and the oath of office. One of the biggest problems that we see, guys, one of the biggest problems that we see in this country is the municipal corporations and the police departments, when they decide to establish their own municipal police, part of the city planning is budgeting based upon how much revenue they think they can generate in tickets and stuff. And that shouldn't be any way to run a city based, trying to get arrests and tickets and enrich a bunch of public servants. That's just not right. It should be a situation where that just doesn't happen. It's just unacceptable to me. I don't know. Give me a bunch of ones if you think that's crazy, that part of planning a city has to do with how much revenue they're going to generate. That just seems totally ridiculous to me. So there's so many people that have so many great questions and things to say. I just don't know where to start with it all. Now, there's one person who keeps saying there are people who are racist and all that. I mean, I don't think that this had anything to do with race. And I think that most police abuse has to do with the great Leviathan. I think that it's the government, that's the politicians who are trying to create racial division. I think that if black people and white people get along, the political parties would be in a lot of trouble. And trying to paint one group as an oppressor and the other one as a victim is the ultimate way to continue division in the country. We're all humans and we're all created by a great creator, and we all have certain unalienable rights and certain gifts. Some people are gifted in other areas. Some people are not gifted in those same areas, but it takes all types. And that's what makes the world an amazing place. But, continuing to try to promulgate this whole thing that everything's about race is ridiculous. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys think it's time to move forward and be more like Martin Luther King and ignore skin color and start just judging people based on character. Think about that. Now, how about that? Catch me outside. By the way, give me a bunch of ones and hit the like and subscribe button for Chili, because Chili's been gone now for quite some time. And keep in mind, guys, that I'd like to have a coming home party for him in Nevada, preferably at a casino or something. So if anybody's interested in joining us for a coming home type party, reach out to BZ Watchdog and we can make that happen. Now, in the interim, I'm going to go ahead and try to play some more of her lawyer's video, Carolina Fort Worth lawyer's video.
I've been able to get a hold of at the police department are very well aware, without even having to look anything up. When I mentioned who I am and who my client is, they immediately give me what they know, and they're like, yeah, my sergeant will be here shortly, as if they kind of know that, or they've already been told that, hey, this is going to be a big issue. We're probably going to get a whole lot of phone calls. That's what I know. Okay. I do know that she's alive. I do know that it's probably serious. The fact that she's still in the hospital, either that or they're just trying to monitor her to make sure that it's not more serious. But there's no way for me at this point or anyone else to get a hold of her because she's in police custody. And the police aren't speaking. They're not talking. I've left messages with several senior officers that I have personal contact information for in Fort Worth Police Department. Now, that said, that's the update on Carolina. And I know it's not a lot. I know it's not, you probably thought, oh, CJ's got all this information. Like I said, everything that I have is based off of my experience and what has been told to me, which is very little. I've probably gotten a little bit more information than any of you who have been calling around and trying to figure things out just because I'm her attorney. But like I said, I'm using my experience to kind of figure out everything that's going on and what I think the issue is here. So I do think I do have reason to believe that she's not dead, thankfully. Okay, please, if this is something that you do, please keep her in your prayers. If you, I don't know how you do it, whatever you do, whatever you pray to, if you have thoughts, go ahead and give those to her. Now, let me get to some of the other legal issues here and where, don't worry, this is going to be aggressively defended. And
Okay, so guys, somebody just said here, Jonah Santos says the video is unavailable. So if that video is unavailable, I hope somebody saved it. I think we've got it recorded on this, but I'll bet you anything, if it's unavailable, that means that the PD, in the course of their investigation, has demanded that YouTube take it down. And that would just be further evidence to show that they're trying to cover up a crime, as far as I'm concerned. But, give me a bunch of ones if you think that it's...
Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
What video are you referring to?
It appears as though the video for Carolina Fort Worth has been taken down based upon...
No, it's not, because my people are watching it right now. They just looked it up. I got my people looking at it in the back
Okay,
seat.
good. Okay, good. So Jonah Santos...
It's actually CFW Carolina is here. That is the channel it's on. She has two
Well,
channels.
I have the actual link to the video in the sidebar. I'm going to post it again.
Video is at CFW Carolina.
You got to go to CFW Carolina in Fort Worth?
Yeah. It's live. That's the title of the
Oh,
video.
CFW Carolina is here is the name of the channel. And then it's her last live. It's still up.
Yeah.
It hasn't been taken down.
Right on. All right. Thanks, dude. I'm going to go ahead and keep playing the lawyer video.
All right.
It's going to be aggressively attacked. What you saw in that video, and this is what I'm going to talk about, what you saw in that video of Carolina and Fort Worth was her approaching two female officers trying to ask questions. The police officers ignored her until Officer Freddie Krueger got involved. I call him Freddie Krueger because he's about as violent and sadistic as the actual fake murderer in the movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, for those of you young pups out there. I have had issues with Freddie Krueger, Officer Krueger, on other cases that I've dealt with clients.
Freddie Krueger.
And what I can tell you is that this man is a sadistic, violent, and dangerous individual who is hiding behind a shield and is hiding behind the fact that his personnel records are being hidden. It is public record, and I can talk about this because these are motions that have been filed in other cases, and I won't say what cases. I'm just going to talk about what's in the public record, and because these have to do with my clients, I'm not going to be specific, and that's just something I'm sorry you're just going to have to go and look after, but it deals with charges by Freddie Krueger. And the fact that we have tried to get his personnel records, and not only me as the defense attorney, but the prosecutors have tried to get and filed motions to have Freddie Krueger's, Officer Krueger's personnel records from his previous departments sent to him based on claims that I've made and about the fact that this guy is dangerous to society. He's dangerous to citizens. He's dangerous to the rule of law. He should not have a gun. He should not have a badge. The guy should have absolutely nothing but a cage and a striped suit on.
Amen.
And even when the prosecutors have tried to get these personnel records from previous police departments because he's screwed up before, he's got a history of violence, a history of excessive force, and the police departments have filed motions to keep the prosecutors from learning his history. You know it's bad when they're trying to keep the prosecutors from knowing what his history is. Now, the good news is that because these police departments are protecting Freddy Krueger, the charges against my client have been dismissed, because you have to assume that what I'm saying is accurate. Because I guarantee you,
Hey, by the way, thank you, Larry Kelly, for blocking the trolls. They're just so retarded. It's like the short bus patrol comes in with their pro Leviathan, anti-Bill of Rights mentality, where the servants have become the master. You know, I used to want to be like Elon or Elon Musk and just let them talk, but more and more I just realized they're just completely brainwashed Marxists. It's almost like we got a bunch of completely just people who are totally incapable of critical thinking causing trouble in the sidebar. These are really serious things. These are our fundamental unalienable rights we're talking about, people. Keep on listening to what this lawyer has to say.
Freddy Krueger did not have a history, then they would easily remove or release these records and provide them to, at the very least, the prosecutor. So the prosecutor can go, hey, well, I ain't dropping these cases. Yeah, this guy's got a crystal clear record. He's an upstanding, wonderful officer. But the fact that the city is fighting the prosecutor and the cities, the officers, the police departments, not the city, the police department, the fact that the police departments and the prosecutors have to work together to convict people. They need each other.
That's right.
The police can't prosecute without a prosecutor, and the prosecutor can't prosecute without police officers as witnesses. And
hey, by the way, guys, I really like this lawyer. This guy is legit. Now, I went to his website and it looks like he's probably semi-retired, or my other guess is he's so busy from the fact that he's such a damn good lawyer that he doesn't need more clients. But either way, if you guys like this guy, I don't have his YouTube channel available right now, but what I can do is put the link, because you know I like the name and all that, but I'm going to put the link to his channel in the sidebar for everybody. And you guys, I recommend that you all follow him and add him and subscribe, and also save all of his videos. Saving is the most important thing that you can do if you like somebody's channel. Save each video. That's the best way for YouTube to know that you really liked it. Liking and subscribing, it's cool, but it has nowhere near the effect with the algorithm is saving. So please do that, especially with people like us lawyers, because we're volunteering our time. I do personal injury cases, guys. I don't really do a lot of these police type cases. I'm going to start doing them now, but I mean, this is just blowing my mind. This is blowing my mind. But what I'm saying is I do this as a civic duty, just like she's performing a civic duty by cop watching. And I think that it's part of my duty as an American to hold the government accountable. Give me a bunch of ones if you think that that's part of your duty as an American, to hold public servants accountable. So please check him out. I'm going to go back and let him talk.
That shows a problem. Sorry, my other phone's ringing. That shows a problem here. And so we're going to go after not only this officer, and I've already contacted the district attorney about this case. I've already offered to write up the criminal complaint against Freddy Krueger and
hey, guys, contact every newspaper and journalist that you know. If you want to help Chili DeCastro and his effort towards holding the government accountable, and my effort, Team MPE, Government Accountability Operations, GAOs, start contacting journalists and show them these videos. Show them this live stream and the excerpts of this woman getting face slammed. Show them the puddle of blood in the parking lot. This is really serious stuff. That could have been your mom, could have been your aunt, maybe, you know, your crazy aunt. Would you want to see her getting body slammed in a pool of blood? Of course not. Contact the news media, for crying out loud. Help us.
asked him if he would file it if I wrote up the complaint. And if not, I'm going to do what I can to present the complaint myself to a grand jury without the prosecutors, because this guy's got to go away. He's got to become a thing of nightmares, and instead of being the nightmare on the
Amen.
street, he's got to be something that people only dream about.
Absolutely.
Because he's in jail. And that's what needs to happen. This guy needs to not just be dispatched, lose his license, but he needs to be locked behind a cage. If you are trying to call me, please stop. I'm obviously live. And actually, who is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one of the auditors. So just stop calling me. There's only one that I need to talk to because I've put him on assignment.
Probably
Where was
BZ.
I? Yeah, so not only am I going to aggressively defend whatever charge they're going to come up with, because I can't even see an interference charge. The guy's walking up to a police officer. There are obviously other people in that parking lot. There's no investigation. There's no, she's not getting between people. She's not keeping the tow truck driver from moving or anything. And by the way, Freddy Krueger decides that he's got to inject himself. Now, it also makes me wonder if this guy's a misogynist, because you've got two female police officers there that Carolina's talking to. And what, Freddy Krueger thinks he's got to get himself involved, that the police officers can't handle themselves against an older lady citizen. So, the fact that he even got himself involved shows that this guy is always looking for a fight. He is looking for a reason to and thank you for that. If there was a donation, if you do send a donation, I am going to use that to give to Carolina. What I'll do is I'll just probably put it on her commissary until we get her out. If there's a bond, what I'm going to try and do on the bond, I've contacted the jail and asked to speak with the magistrate. I'm going to try and do an attorney bond. My estimate is that they're likely going to.
So I just want to just pipe in here. Andrew Bergen says, not a problem at all. I too have been a victim of the system and 100% want it changed for the sake of our children. And I got to tell you right now, brother, I do too. I see that these public school teachers, the academic institutions are trying to introduce this campus culture onto our kindergarten kids, force all this crazy stuff onto our kids. It's time we need serious change. Hey, what's up, BZ? Good seeing you back, buddy.
Yeah, I'm back. And by the way, Carolina used to be a teacher, right?
Yeah, I know. We talked about it. I'm going to go ahead and let this guy keep talking.
Going to charge her with interference. Hell, they might even try and charge her with felony assault on a peace officer because they assaulted her, and they need to cover this up. So they might find some way to charge her with felony assault of a peace officer. I would not be surprised. But based on what I saw, it looks like they're probably going to try and get her for interference, and it will be between a $1,000 and $5,000 bond.
Actually, Mike,
which will be between a $100 and $5,000.
Yeah, what's up?
I have a good idea. We need to find out and reach out to those female officers to see if they want to go ahead and turn against that guy so they're not named in a lawsuit. That way,
whistleblowers?
Whistleblowers, get them protected so that way nothing happens to them for coming forward. Because I think they were trying to do what was right, but didn't really have a whole lot of time to really respond. I mean, that happened awfully quick. The fact that one girl said she's bleeding, which was right away. My concern is, why did the dumbass call for a supervisor instead of call for med? That should have been that's negligence right there. Should have called for medical first thing with blood instead of a supervisor.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. And Ryan's right on the money about that. So now also Chuck P says, if you want to write Chili, he put his address up here, but I'll say it for anybody who can't see. If you got a pen, Jose De Castro, inmate ID number 01669-561, Clark County Detention Center, P.O. Box 43059, Las Vegas, Nevada 89116, South Tower 2K. So all you guys have to do is just play that back, and you can listen to it if you can't see it or whatever, and you can send him a letter. And there's also a way to give him money to help him buy stuff at the commissary. And I believe you can also send literature and books to him, but it has to come through the publisher. It cannot come directly. So And then thanks for joining us also, Ball Sniffa. And I guess Ball Sniffa thinks that you're attractive, BZ. And then let me see here. Watkins Inc. Is talking about Corporal Greeley slamming her. Felony 3 assault against law enforcement. So it looks like it does happen. That's really interesting. You know, so many people on this channel, including myself, have been beat up or abused by cops when they weren't doing anything unlawful. And I think that once that happens to you, you realize that everything that you learned in school, everything you saw on chips, everything that you were told by your teachers was all just basically a lie. And I think that more and more people are starting to wake up to the reality that it's really not simply the police, it's the politicians and the ridiculous laws that they pass that invite this culture of abuse and misogyny through law enforcement. And give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree with that statement. Now, BZ, I don't know how we could deal with those female officers to get them on our team, but what I did notice about them from Carolina's footage is that they would just walk away and not give credence to the comments or the things that Carolina was saying.
You got to understand, Carolina is definitely high profile. Everybody knows who she is here. The one thing I'm going to do is, now that I know his name is Matthew Krueger, I've obtained a list of people who took their constitutional right, First Amendment auditor classes recently through public records. There were 74 done last year. I'm going to now request to see if Matthew Krueger has any records regarding constitutional rights or First Amendment auditor course that Fort Worth PD has to offer. Obviously, they haven't mandated every officer to take this course.
Wanda Neal asks BZ, is this the same Michael Krueger accused of excessive force as far back as 2014? Is this the same one?
Matthew Krueger, and the fact that the name starts with the M, it might be a mix-up. It might be the same guy. Manuel Mata has more information on this guy so far, because this is not the first dealing that Carolina Mata had. In fact, if you hear the video, before you see him on video, she says, "Oh, hey, Krueger," and he got out of the car. So there's already been some sort of friction prior to this. This was completely 100% retaliatory for face planting her.
Thomas Rockhold asks, what is the name of her channel, please?
She has two of them. The one I think the live is on is CFW. That's Charlie Fox Whiskey. So CFW, Carolina is here. That's what it's called.
Thanks, James Forbes. You too. Hi back, buddy. James Forbes says, hi, BZ. By the way, look, I know that a lot of people, Press with Rancor is saying that this is the worst way to do live streams for moderating and dropping links. And so the thing is we've got BZ out doing a live today. So it's really hard to do it when it's horizontal.
Well, here's the problem, guys. They haven't fixed the way the thing works. It has to be short, the way he's got it right now, to maximize as many views. Right now, we need as many people to see this live stream as possible. There's only like 30 or 50 or 60 core group people that are in here. It's the same people that are everywhere. We need more people to see this. That's why we're doing it. Now, if Michael drops the link in the sidebar from his PC, which is where he's sitting,
yeah,
you have to be able to click on the link and go there. If a moderator or like somebody like myself who tries to drop a link while I'm on my phone, the link will not work.
Oh,
so
that sucks.
They haven't figured out how to do that yet. I understand you guys hate it this way, but most people view shorts and their live streams from their phone device, their mobile device. So that's why it's this way. That's why YouTube's pushing the algorithm. That's why they're doing like this on the live streams to compete with TikTok. TikTok's going away unless the Chinese government decides to sell it. And I don't think that's going to happen. So right now, you guys have to suck it up, buttercups. Drink some water. Suck it up like they told us in the Marine Corps.
And thanks, Mingo Wingo. Thanks, Mingo Wingo, for your comment about being assaulted. Mingo Wingo says that Mingo Wingo was assaulted and kidnapped by a cop.
And I can't believe you interrupted my soapbox. Really?
Oh,
that's
well, no. Well, I've got so many people who want to talk, man.
This ain't about them right now. This is about Carolina and this unhinged cop. We're about solutions at this point. Not a hey, look, if you guys want to tell me your story, I have an email. You guys can send me that. I'll look into it and I'll try to get it.
They're asking, Cooter wants to know, what hospital is she staying at?
Nobody has really told us because they don't want anybody trying to find her. I'm pretty sure it's going to be I think it's either JPS or what's that other name of that other one? So all the cops in surrounding counties take all their people to that one hospital. So I guarantee it's that trauma center there.
All right.
It's off of I think it's off of who was it? Allen? I think it's Allen Road or something like that, right there off of 35.
Well,
address.
HG just popped in and wants to know, what is this live stream topic? So a lot of people are joining us ad hoc. So basically, a friend of ours got body slammed, face slammed by a cop the other night.
Face plant is the right word.
Face planted, and probably has a brain injury, and she's in the hospital. And she is a cop auditor, cop watcher. She participates in governmental accountability operations, trying to keep public servants accountable. And this one cop, who she's had multiple confrontations with in the past, decided to pick her up and face slam her. And there's a big puddle of blood all over the asphalt where he slammed her, and she's now in the hospital in intensive care. She was having breathing issues. So we're all worried about her, and that's what this is about. And I'm a lawyer, and BZ Watchdog is a cop watcher. We're both inactive U.S. Marines, and we just have an innate duty in our hearts to take care of people, especially people who are weaker than us. It's just part of who we are, is the sheepdog mentality. And that's what this live stream is about. We're trying to help her. Now, BZ, do you want me to go ahead and play some more of her lawyer's video?
$500, but
Great
I would
idea.
recommend.
Sorry, man. No, I'm here. I had
If
my mic
anybody's
muted.
out there
Apologize,
collecting
guys.
money for a bond, let's do a cash
Go ahead and play the
bond.
rest of it.
Try to raise the full amount so that we're not paying a bondsman that money that no one's ever going to get back. And then once we get this case dismissed, that money comes back to her, and she can use it to recover. I don't know what any charges are right now because she hasn't been admitted or processed into the jail. She hasn't been processed in the jail, which means she hasn't been magistrated, which means nobody knows what the charges are. I'm assuming the charges are going to be interference, and I would not be surprised if Freddie Krueger of the Fort Worth Police Department also tries to invent some fake, bogus felony assault on a peace officer charge. And if that's the case, you're looking at probably another $15,000 to $20,000 bond. And of course, in that case, I would say pay a bondsman, because trying to raise that kind of money is very difficult. Just know that I have asked for charges to be filed against Mr. Krueger, not Mr. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to call him Mr. Against Freddie Krueger, that's what I call him, for official oppression, for misuse of a government office, for aggravated assault and causing bodily injury. And there was one more that I was going to do, that menacing. So those are the updates right now. If you do, and I'm asking, hopefully someone else can collect money, because I try to separate, now that I'm an attorney, I try to separate and not necessarily collect money on behalf of clients, because it even though I have had to deal with the Board of Law Examiners, who is completely out of control and trying to keep me from being fully licensed. And one of the things that they brought up was the fact that I helped another client collect money. Even though I proved that all the money went straight to that client, it doesn't matter. They were bringing up all kinds. So, but if you don't trust anyone else and you want to send anything that you send for Carolina, please in the subject line put CFW. But I'll also tell you, any money I get from now until I get Carolina out, if it's donated to any of my apps, then I will.
So Wanda Neal says that I'm an RN, and if she has been intubated and is in trauma intensive care, she has very serious injuries. This breaks my heart. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's been intubated, but it sounds like it. based upon clients that I've had, she may very well be in a coma. I had a client of mine who fell from about the same height off a truck. He was a male trucker, and he ended up being in a coma for like 3 months. And it was a bummer, man. I felt bad. I paid for his family to come out and say their goodbyes. It's
Hey,
a case
Mike,
that didn't end up going anywhere.
I have a good question here. How about this? So let's say CJ's right. She's in police custody, which is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And she's in the trauma care. And according to the nurse, say she is in a
Intubated.
coma. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And they obviously are not letting people know where she's at because she's in police custody.
Yeah.
Well, if she's going to be there for a long time, do they notify next to kin?
Yeah.
Do they notify people? How does that work?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do have a duty to notify family, because she obviously can't make that one phone call, can she? And since she has counsel, I believe that he'll have better luck than you or I at getting that additional information. Obviously, there's probably going to have to be a conservator appointed if she is in a coma or does have a brain injury. This is a really serious case, guys. If there is a fundraiser link, please put it in the sidebar to help her. I'm very concerned about her. I care about people, especially when they're standing up for our constitutional rights, because I have kids myself and I want to leave this world a better place.
Just to let you guys know, there's also a city council meeting here in Fort Worth on Tuesday. So anybody, I'm going to try to find the time to attend myself. Anybody that has a camera, anybody that wants to speak their words out about this, I really think that we should all attend. This needs to be mass public outcry. Enough pressure on the city, enough pressure on the mayor, the city manager, and the police chief might actually result in not only terminated, but maybe getting charges pressed. And that's where the ultimate goal should be in this particular case.
Yeah. Now, Cooter says, I think CJ Grisham is in contact with her sister. So thanks,
Daughter.
Cooter.
I think it's her daughter. They were talking about it on that live earlier today, where her husband and the daughter had actually reached out via email. That was the last I heard on that live stream. I don't know about her. I think he was trying to reach out to her sister, but not sure if that's been confirmed yet or not.
Stand by. William Holcomb, breaking news. Don't know if it's true. Just heard she was awake and in good spirits from the police chief? ? I don't know how credible that information is. I would say that's probably not credible information. If she's got a brain injury, she could be a vegetable and be in good spirits, but we'll see. We'll see. Thank you so much, William, for that breaking news. Thank you. That was awesome. Watkins Inc. says she doesn't believe it, BZ. What, do you believe it?
Hell no, they're not going to admit fault for one of their own. They're going to try to hide and cover it up and say it was Carolina's fault that she got in the way of the concrete.
Dr. Donna Walter says that it's propaganda. So it looks like, give me a bunch of ones if you believe the police chief. Give me a bunch of twos if you don't believe the police chief.
You want to find out the truth? Go see if the police chief's even aware of this yet. I'm sure he probably is, but go to the Fort Worth Police Department Facebook. Make sure you guys leave your comments on how you feel about this. And call for Krueger. You know what? They don't want us calling the jail. They don't want us calling the hospital. Blow up their Facebook page.
Well, everybody gave us a bunch of twos. It doesn't look like anybody trusts what the police chief said. Rusty says the sergeant claims she will recover, quote unquote, joking, but no feeling good.
Well, you know what, guy? Hey, you know how you can tell every cop is lying?
Oh,
Their
God.
freaking lips are moving, man. That's how
That's
you
a
tell.
lawyer joke. That's a lawyer joke. Come on.
Well, you lawyers and cops all fit the same category. The only difference is you hurt us financially. The cops hurt us physically.
Well, I try to stay away from cases where I'm fleecing clients. That's why I work on a contingency fee basis. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm talking about criminal lawyers and all that other crap.
Yeah, James Forbes, it's so good to see you guys here. Let's see here. Now, James Schrader says we need to post his home address. I don't recommend you ever do anything like that, guys.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you dox that cop's address, that is a felony. Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't recommend you do that to anyone anyways, because there is something called karma in life, and God will have his justice one way or another. it's not up to you. And going through life angry and upset and pissed off and wanting revenge is a way to give yourself cancer and all kinds of diseases. Don't do it, guys.
Finding out his address on your own and showing up on the public sidewalk in front of his house with cameras 24/7 and questioning him every time he leaves, that's possible, as long as you look at the information and we don't put it on a live stream.
Yeah, I would never recommend doing anything like that. I would try to do my best to stay away and not present any kind of a threat. The mafia and other organizations learned early on that last thing you want to do is try and target the police. I think it's a really big mistake.
I'm not recommending. I'm just saying you can't.
I just think the whole idea is crazy. But now it says here, yeah, that's true, Salty. You can't get the addresses of cops or their license plate info, I think, like when you run their plates. So they're pretty well protected. Otherwise, he's liable to face plant you, according to, if you show up at his house, Katie Fry says he's liable to face plant you. So be careful. And then William Hightower says, hit the like button. That's right, guys. Remember, this is Chili's channel, and we're here to support Chili. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Like and subscribe button. Now, BZ, did you bring your cop card? Can you have your dog show us what your dog would do if your dog was pulled over?
Well, first off, Brownie would just let them get to the car. Brownie doesn't know how to invoke. Brownie doesn't know how to invoke his fifth, do you? Tell him. Thank you. Do you know how to invoke your fifth? Hey, anyways, I always have my trifle with me, guys. Always. Now, do I go by it? Not anymore. I like to fuck with the cops just as much as they like to fuck with us. But I also have learned my rights, and the one thing I will never do is I will never keep my doors unlocked. I will never roll my window down that far, and I've learned the law enough to keep myself safe. This is why I have a little bit more of a passive approach to my cop watching versus somebody who's a little bit more assertive or aggressive as Carolina, because I don't want to be face planted because you never know when it's going to happen. It's kind of like the thought police taking your video down at the end.
That's right, man.
You never know when it's going to happen. Sometimes you can read between the lines, and then sometimes you get these unhinged cops that there is no line. They just cross it, grab you, snatch you, face plant you, throw you in torture cuffs, take you down to the dungeon, or in Carolina's case, down to the trauma center. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, I mean, well, for right now, there's nothing we can do about it now.
Dr. Watkins says that Brownie is adorable.
Oh, he's the best in the world. Brownie, you want to say hi to everybody? Thank you, buddy. You want to say hi to everybody? I wish we could just get Charlie on here, man. Charlie and Brownie. Call it the Charlie and Brownie show.
Now, Monkey83 says, I'm pretty sure Carolina wasn't looking for a face plant by asking the pig a question.
Not at all. She was not asking. To be honest with you, I don't think she anticipated that whatsoever. I mean, I think that really caught her off guard. The fact that he said he was going to arrest her, I really think that was, I really think that was really off guard. Because I mean, she even acknowledged him, and then it just went like quick. I mean, it's not like cop watchers purposely go out to get face plant. We don't go out there looking for it. Some people just voice their opinions more than others. You know, we are passionate about what we do. You know, some of us actually, here, let me shut this for a second. Some of us actually are just a little bit more cautious because we're aware of what the cops will do to us. You know, if they get an opportunity, they're going to do it. You know, it's, I mean, you heard that cop on the freaking, on her live stream saying, stop resisting. How is an unconscious person bleeding from her head, face planted downward on the asphalt, resisting in any way?
Well, we know that he's lying. We know they're trying to do that. But our guy 936 says, this is something that we need to bring up to her lawyer, bro. There were no police scene. It was not a police scene. There were no lights on any cars. There were no lights on any cars. None.
Oh, let me stop you. CJ already mentioned that. If anybody actually watched and listened to the live stream, you would know that was already done. And I know you just played that live stream that he went on.
We've only played a little bit of it, but we've only played a little bit of his live stream, but I'm sure it's on there.
I mean, we can't keep going back and repeating the entire the day. Bottom line is, we've given you an update. We need help for Carolina. You know, this faceplant shit's got to stop. They're snatching people up and making shit up like with Chili's obstruction charge, Texas Gal's trespassing charge. I mean, it doesn't matter what state you're in. Sorry, I saw something across the live stream. I'm kind of staying away from that right now at the moment. A lot of you guys got to understand, this was not a typical unhinged cop. This was retaliation for something.
That's right.
And the fact that Mata had his information that quick early this morning means they've had prior run-ins with this guy, meaning he is a bad cop. CJ even mentioned it, that he came from another department, and they won't even release that information over that department to the prosecutors here in Tarrant County. So this cop is a psycho. I mean, he belongs right next door in the cell to Derek Chauvin, because if something happens and results in loss of life, God help it doesn't happen to Carolina, he could very well be sharing a cell with Derek Chauvin. He should be in a cell anyways. I mean, he belongs in a zoo more than the damn animals at the Fort Worth Zoo do.
Yeah, we were just talking the other day about how these cops get recycled from department to department, and they bury their records, and they'll end up in a small town, like a really nice town, and they'll be like a complete savage animal cop working in their town, and they don't even know about his background. It's nuts. Just insane. So
you go ahead, because I gotta walk into.
No problem.
I'll be probably about 2 minutes, but I'm gonna
no problem.
Get the mic real quick.
Righteous Faith says that Caroline was trying to find out what was going on and why they were doing it and what was illegal. That's right. And so you have under the 14th Amendment, and I harp on this all the time, because it's not really under the 14th Amendment. It's just a human right, an unalienable right. But it's been sort of recognized by the Supreme Court that you have a right to notice an opportunity under the 14th Amendment. And that also goes for being arrested. You can't just say, hey, you need to walk across the street or I'm going to arrest you. That's nuts. There were no lights on. That was not a police scene. And she was standing far enough away to where she was not interfering. And words alone are not enough to rise to the level of interference or obstruction. At least not those kinds of words. I mean, I could understand if she was commanding someone to start shooting or throw grenades and they had the capability of doing that. That would be akin to yelling fire in a crowded movie house. But that's not what happened here, guys. That's not what happened here at all. So that's right. And Andrew says, if our background can be checked, then why are they hiding his? You would think that this would be a huge red flag. But remember, government employees and unionized employees in particular take care of their own.
Hey, Mike, I just thought of something, bro.
What's going on?
The guy's last name is Krueger. I know why he's so hateful. He's German. He was probably part of that 1941 regime.
Oh, you never know.
He's German.
So our guy 936 says that Caroline's case is the slam heard round the world. And so for all of you younger people who didn't learn about the American history,
it should be called the face plant around the world.
The shot heard round the world had to do with the shot that kicked off the American Revolution. And so this hopefully will kick off the auditor revolution, where people will start waking up to the fact that we need to hold law enforcement accountable. I've got videotaped footage taken by bystanders of cops illegally planting drugs and throwdown weapons into the cars, especially when it comes to blacks. It's almost guaranteed. They'll throw drugs, they'll throw a throwdown weapon into their car to make their arrest. This is not something that is like an unusual happenstance. This is a regular occurrence all over the United States. That is the main reason why, in my opinion, they're trying to keep you guys in jail. They're trying to paint you as whack jobs and conspiracy theorists because they don't want you to hold them accountable. They want those arrests. Revenue raising is how they get their bonuses and their promotions.
Hey, Mike, that's how my first arrest ever happened, by the way. I had a cop plant drugs in my car over a light bulb being out in my license plate.
That's right. And James Hughes agrees with you. He could be a clown. Remember the movie Boys from Brazil with Joseph Mengele and all that? Remember that, BZ? Boys from Brazil down in Argentina. He had this cloning camp. They cloned Hitler. Bunch of Nazis down there. I think it was Argentina. No, it was Brazil. It was Brazil.
Why don't you do this? Do a Google search. I bet you the last name Krueger is German.
But I also know they had an Argentina one down there too. The Nazis had something going on down there with
supposedly one time in Minecraft. Allegedly,
in Minecraft.
One time in Minecraft. Yeah, it's a reference to someone else's channel when they say allegedly, because that's all it is allegedly.
Yeah, Krueger's definitely German, according to Richard Be Happy.
Told you, Nazi. Papers. Down to the concentration camp you go. In this case, down to the asshole.
Here, you talk to these guys for a while. I'm going to try to find that video, man. That's the best.
Bottom line, dude, the guy's a Nazi. What else can I say? If anybody knows Carolina Rodriguez, she looks like she's mixed white and Hispanic with a Hispanic last name. Okay. And for someone like that, if he's got that mentality from generations of just hating on people just because of race, and that's what I'm kind of guessing. Obviously, it sounds to me like he hates women. He hates camera people. Obviously, he hates, Carolina for whatever reason that they had. But you got the video pulled up. I swear, this is what Krueger said, basically, except for
where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers? To the concentration camp with you.
Oh man, that is so good. That is so freaking hilarious.
You're gonna have to try to figure out how to find a picture of Krueger and put his face on that video.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers? To the concentration camp with you.
Oh my God, that is so freaking hilarious, man.
Well, it is, but it's not. I mean, you got to look at the mentality. Yeah, we laugh about it because it's a video game, and that's kind of how we joke about how these cops are with always wanting to see our IDs. But I mean, look, what was she charged with? Oh wait, resisting arrest. Don't you have to have another charge first? Don't you actually have to be doing something other than talking to catch an obstruction charge? I mean, you're on public parking lot because you got to pay to park there. I mean, where's the crime other than him just being upset and being a Nazi? Because that's what Krueger is. Matthew Krueger is a Nazi.
Well, I don't know. What do you think this guy says about it?
Where are your papers?
What are the papers?
Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
Oh man, give me a bunch of ones if you guys think we should use that now in every video that we do as a prop.
Every cop video where it results in IDs or getting arrested.
Every one. It always has to have this in it.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers? To the concentration camp with you.
Well, I think I've seen more ones in the history of the Delete Laws channel in the sidebar. You see, I think this is our new prop for all of our Cop Watch videos.
There should be.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
I mean, you can't get any more truthful than that. I mean, we have bottom line is a bunch of these cops. I'm going to start calling them a bunch of Nazis because that's how they're acting. It's bottom line. I don't care if that's how you were trained, you were brainwashed. The Nazis were brainwashed prior to 1931 as well.
That's right.
So,
it started with the public school system. They taught all the children that the Jews were the oppressors and that all of the Germans were oppressed. It was their version of critical race theory. And then they ended up sending the Jews to the concentration camp. Basically what they're doing in the U.S. public school system right now.
Next time I have a cop encounter, they want to see my ID. I'm going to ask them if the next step is burning books.
Right.
Because that's how I really feel where things are going.
I'm just looking at the sidebar. Trained or not, they should instinctively know right from wrong. Stacy Parenti, always a voice of reason. And Stacy's right. Trained or not, they should instinctively know right from wrong. Those female cops knew that guy was out of line. They knew it. in that video, you'll see that they were walking away from Carolina. When she was
Mike, go actually, because I'm trying to pull up my PC. I can't really do it. Go back to her video real quick. Look at the look on the female's face right as he goes and snatches her up. Because if you look at her face, you notice they're not even grabbing at her.
Hold on, I gotta put it on mute so I can find it.
I think it's like at the 6 minute and like 26.
Shut up. Stand by. I'm looking. So I can see they're walking away from they got her back. So around 5:56, I'm going to start it for you guys.
No. Go back to the 6 minute mark. You're good with the 6 minute mark.
Just do 6 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Here it comes. 6 minutes, guys. Let me make sure you can see it. Okay, everybody. Stand by. Platoon. 10.
Wrong channel.
How do you know if they paid or not, ladies?
Now look at this, Mike. No threat.
Say ladies. Say ladies. Hey, Krueger. No, I'm not going to before. There's no if, there's no nothing.
You can go to the other side of the street. You're going to get arrested. I'm not warning you again.
What are you talking about?
Look at that look.
Why? Wait, tell me why first.
We're doing it.
You're under arrest. You're not.
No, I'm not under it. Okay, you
Stop resisting.
Right there. Have you noticed that both those?
Stop resisting.
You can pause it anytime, Mike.
I'm just getting sick to my stomach right now.
Well, I don't want to hear about the blood coming from her head. It's not what I asked you to rewind the tape for. But look, if you noticed the look on the females' faces, and did you notice their hands were still up here holding their vest when he face planted her?
Did I notice?
They were holding their vest.
Yeah. There was no threat.
This is a de-escalation tactic so they don't look intimidating. The fact that they're walking around like this, turned around about 2 feet from Carolina compared to where Krueger was standing, tells me that she was not a threat. The cops didn't care. They just didn't want to get involved in a conversation of being on camera, so they were ignoring her. Krueger likes to be in the spotlight. Krueger wants to be on that wall. Krueger thinks he needs to be on that wall to protect us all. What we need protection from is damn unhinged cops. Sorry,
yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that. So they always trained us to hold on to our body armor like that.
Yeah, always.
But it had nothing to do with de-escalation. It had to do with having your hands at the ready in case someone tried to do a face strike.
Well, and also it was more comfortable, and your hands were very close to your weapon because it was strapped across your chest.
But Kurt Bronson's right that officer safety has overtaken American rights. A cop that's scared needs to get a job at McDonald's.
No, the problem is they're not scared. They're just using that excuse to be psychos and hurt people. That's all they're doing. Get rid of officer safety, and I bet you they'll change. Get rid of their guns for a day. See what happens. I bet you they don't lay a hand on anybody. I mean, look at Europe. Europe is trained to use their hands after de-escalation tactics. You never hear about any cops shooting anybody over the UK or Europe because none of the cops have guns.
No, they do. It's just they just have an arm section that the regular beat cops don't.
The special forces side, like the SWAT side of the cops over there do. But I'm talking about everyday beat cops.
That's right. They don't have guns.
So how can they police over there with no guns and be okay? But
they're having a really hard time. They're having a hard time, actually. If you've seen some of the video, they flooded their country with people from Islamic third world countries, and they're beating the crap out of the police officers and chasing them with machetes and stuff. So the UK is having a really hard time with their multiculturalism. So I don't know how much longer it's going to last.
It's going to be, I mean, I don't think they're going to just hand them guns one day like they do over here in Texas.
Well, they're starting to send out armed officers with long guns with the unarmed cops to provide security for them from all the people they invited into their countries that don't care about them and actually hate them. So it's really interesting. And I hope we do something about our border soon, or we're going to have the same problem.
Why don't you put the military out on the street, protect us from the cops?
Our military, because they're not allowed to patrol United States. The U.S. military, the Army, the armed forces, other than the Navy, is not allowed to exist for more than 2 years without being reappropriated. All males 16 and over are automatically irregular militia. Your job as a male is to police yourself and police your family under the common law heritage where our Bill of Rights and Constitution comes from. Regulars could be activated as well. And then the National Guard is totally separate and apart and has nothing to do with the militia. And it's a misnomer to even compare the two. They're totally different. The idea behind the militia and states' rights is that you cannot federalize your militia because then you no longer have sovereignty as a state.
So that's why you have the state National Guard that the governor can activate.
That is true. You actually have a state National Guard that's separate from the federal National Guard that exists in the states. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. But irrespective of that, Graffiti Bridge says that you can declare martial law. And well, that's what Lincoln did. He suspended the habeas corpus and violated the Constitution. He packed the Southern courts with unelected representatives and passed a lot of amendments to the Constitution outside the will of the American people. A lot of people are still upset about that.
These cops keep doing this, they're going to have another American Revolution on their hands.
They may very well, but it's the politicians who are doing it. It's the ones who are setting up these municipal corporations
Maybe we
and
need
empowering these weak-minded individuals to hurt people.
Maybe
But
we
they're
need to bring
enforcing the policy.
bring Trump in and do another January 6th.
They're enforcing the policy of politicians. And so that's the problem. So that's why I believe in deleting laws and not passing more. And I believe that you should elect representatives based upon the laws that they delete, not laws that they pass. The more laws you have, the less freedom you have. And one of the ways to have freedom is to make sure that all Americans love their country, not just invite people in here piecemeal with a guaranteed cell phone, free hotel, and free everything. That's not the way you do it. They have to earn their way in like my parents had to, my grandparents had to. You have to bring something of value and become a citizen and learn about our heritage.
Hey, I just found out. Hey, I'm looking some stuff up. Matthew Krueger was also, we're in Tarrant County. He also worked as a police officer in the city of Irving, Texas, which is the next county over in Dallas County. Let's see. Yep, Manuel Mata has posted a video about him 7 hours ago. Let's see what this guy looks like.
So it's on Manuel Mata's channel?
Yeah, if you go to Manuel Mata, it's Manuel Mata 2. He's got it posted, but he clips it in the very beginning, but he shows Krueger face. I think he's the guy that showed up after Carolina might have gotten face planted.
So I'm looking for his channel. You're saying it's Manuel Mata 2?
Yeah, it's spelled Mike, Alpha, November, Uniform, Echo, Lima, and then space, Mata, Mike, Alpha, Tango, Alpha. And then you've got the word 2, Tango, Oscar, Oscar.
I found the one that says 9669.
Nope, that's the second one. Manuel Mata 2, T-O-O.
Oh, got it.
He's got 2 channels.
I'm looking, bud. So far, nothing. But hopefully somebody can find it.
Well, you're just, I don't want to call you dumb. You're just computer illiterate. Because it's right there. Go to Manuel Mata 2, M-A-T-A. You're not spelling it right. Do I need to put it in the comment section for you?
So it says here that
Come on, Mike.
Manuel Mata 2 is live, but it doesn't give me the name of a video or anything like that to tell me.
Fort Worth police officer Krueger knocks out CFW. It might be a live stream that he did, or it might be a current video. You have to check the tabs. It's a 3-minute and 56-second video. He posted it or 7 hours ago. You kill me sometimes, Smalls. Killing me. Now, why? I'm going to go back to the picture of.
You know if they paid or not, ladies. Hey, ladies. Hey, Krueger. No, I'm not going to the floor. There's no investigation. There's no nothing.
You can go to the other side of the street. You're going to get arrested. I'm not warning you
What
again.
are you talking about?
The other side of the
Why?
street right now.
Wait, tell me why first.
We're doing an
You're under arrest. You're not.
No, I'm not under it. Okay, you go.
Stop resisting.
That's Krueger right there.
Stop resisting.
That's Krueger. That's Krueger. Mike, can you hear me?
Why'd you put a gun on me, pussy?
Mike.
You were scared or what?
investigation of all of our actions. Report. What? You want me to answer your question? Yeah. Okay, you probably want to stop talking so I can answer that. I'm asking you. What's up? Okay. What? Repeat your question. Why'd you pull a gun on me? Once again, I'm not going to discuss. When did you tell me to stop? That I was being detained? Mr. Mona, all the details of the investigation will be in your report. You can request your discussion. Why didn't you give me a ticket then? Once again, jaywalker scared me. Yeah, you gave me one afterwards, right? Instead of when I asked. Scumbag. Hey, man. Scumbag. You should probably call for backup. You're a fucking pussy. I'm sure you're scared. You should call for backup. Coward. Are you just going to be rude and then shut up, bitch? Shut up. You just said you don't want to answer questions. Shut the fuck up. It's not rude. Pulling a gun. Be quiet. Buddy. Talking about rude. You put a gun on me, bitch, for jaywalking. Talking about respectful and rude. You need to shut the fuck up. Because smarter, you look when you got your fucking dick lickers shut. Don't fucking play with me, man. And I asked you. Your statements are very rude. They seem to be so. Can you speak up a little bit more here? So they're rude, and you seem to be impeaching my character. I don't appreciate that. Fuck you and your character, because it's garbage. Why y'all take? Where's my body camera? You took it off. Where's it at? Once again, you can get all of that documentation. No, I went. I went to the property room. They said y'all never turned one in. So again, where's my body camera? I went to the property room. There's not one y'all turned in. And Cardenas took it off my chest. After you took it off and handed it to her. Hey, what's your name and badge number, pig? You gave it to him, huh? I'll see you in court, wimp. Did you lie on the police report too? Don't worry about it. Perjury. Remember that shit. Remember what your supervisor said in court. Are you accusing me of a crime, Mr. Mona? Did you accuse me of a crime? I asked you a question. Did you lie on the police report? Because you're going to be put on the Brady list real soon.
Yep.
You know what that means, right? A Brady violation means when you lie on a police report, untruthfulness, when you file a false oath breaker. Yeah, you're saying that you are an oath breaker. Exactly. So that's you broke your oath. Huh? You're saying that I filed a false police report? Yeah. You're accusing me of a crime? What, you gonna arrest him for that? You're gonna arrest him for speech now too? You're gonna pull your gun out on him for that? Do you have any factual basis for those allegations? Your body camera. Have you gotten a copy or reviewed my body camera footage? Oh, don't worry about it. We are. Don't jaywalk. This guy will pull a gun out on you.
That's wild.
Now you know why he retaliated against Carolina.
So he's part of Carolina's crew, right? He goes out with her and helps her.
Yes,
film.
him and Mata. The last two times Mata got arrested, they were riding in her car.
Got it. That's wild.
So they hang out a lot. They always pin an obstruction charge on him and then arrest him. And
yeah,
CJ's also representing Manuel.
So Stacy says that he don't stand up to men. Apparently, Stacy Parenti.
Oh no, he just face plants women for no reason.
Yeah, good comment, Stacy. I really appreciate the chats. It's really nice to see that there's other people on this planet who think like us.
Did you hear too? They took his body cam off of Mata, but yet it never got turned into property.
Right, of course. Yeah, of course. So anyways, guys, I think it's about time to wrap this bad chicken up. I have another show at 3:00 Pacific where I'm going to talk about traumatic brain injuries and things like that, and cases where police officers have done this in the past and the chances that she has. I don't believe anything the police chief says. The way that she was breathing after she got slammed on her head tells me that she's got some serious injuries to her brain. And I'm really worried about her.
I'll tell you right now, he got an indefinite suspension out of Irving, and he's actually suing against the let's see, what are you suing? City of Irving and the City of Irving Civil Service Commission. And that was back on November 14th of 2014.
So, yeah, so it sounds like he's got other allegations, and you could tell by looking at him that he's on his way out. The guy's got some problems. He's not all there.
And he, you know, so I'm gonna start doing public records. I'm gonna find out how many complaints this guy has got, what they're for, if anything's been found. He gets paid $93,000 a year. He gets about $5,300 in overtime a year. So he was hired. He was hired November 28th of 2016. I've got his pay records already pulled up here.
Robert Taylor says social contract nullified. I agree with you, Robert. This is just terrible. And then Stomper says he's probably on Viagra or something, I guess. So anyways, look, guys, I'm going to close it out. I have a show coming up at 3. We'll talk about brain injuries on the Michael Eline channel. We'll talk a little bit more about Carolina. If BZ wants to join me, he's more than welcome. Make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to save. Always press the save button, guys. That's really, really important. That's the best way to show.
Always save this video before you get face planted by an unhinged cop.
That's the best way to show YouTube that you like the video, and that will help Chili's channel rise to the top of all the feeds. So with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this or any other channel. Thank you, BZ Watchdog, for showing up.
Concentration camp you go.
Everybody make sure to like and subscribe to BZ Watchdog's channel as well. He did a terrific job. He went to the actual scene of the crime and took video footage of the blood and everything. So guys, go back and watch this if you want to learn more. This is the most comprehensive video to date about what happened to Carolina, Fort Worth. Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die. Peace